That means it will indeed be the S4 Mirana.
And it's not just good against AM2, it's good against SlayeR, it's good against Windranger. Anyone that's survivable Disruptor will be really useful. Yeah. So, especially once they hit 6, just even the silence against Windranger can be massive.
And it fits in
sure the hero's useless.
With what you were saying about just picking massive team fight and overpowering Vega. Disruptor, one of the best team fighting supports you can pick up in that sense.
So pretty solid draft from Alliance. They're diversified on their damage. They're diversified on their ways to do damage. It's not just right clicks, for example. With both Coddle and Windranger, Alliance is gonna have a lot of trouble connecting with hits, but they've got nukes from Mirana, they've got nukes from Earthspirit, Disruptor. I think they're in a pretty good spot here. They just need to make sure their lanes go well. There's a lot of decent laning coming from Vega, so it might be a little bit problematic.
Now remember, Purge, we did say the exact same thing last game about Alliance's draft. Or no, the other way. We thought Vega's draft was going to be the ease of execution, and it was Alliance that would struggle, and then they dominated the lane. So maybe it'll go back the other way. I think it's hard to predict what's going to happen on paper with these two teams.
It's just so hard for him to lane against this with Thunderstrike, Glimpse potential, the movement speed that Weaver has, and even Earthspirit initiating. Like it's a very tough lane for him. I'm sure he regrets not having Iron Talon, but there was again a buff to offlaners. If neutrals do get denied, then you get 35% of the experience now instead of 20, which was the past. Started at 0, right. And then within 2 months it's already up to 35%.
Yeah.
Nice buff change though, like really did need to happen. AGM gonna get killed though.
Oh wow, what a misplay. He gets body blocked a little bit, just underestimates that tower damage, and Iceberg, he turns it around 1-1. That's huge for the Windranger.
Yeah, he was trying to harass in the mid lane, but he must have rolling bouldered a little bit too far past or chased too far and ends up dying for it.
Just took too
very
many tower
costly.
shots. And Earthspirit, not the tankiest hero early on, only 3 armor, so he cannot survive under the tower for very long. FN having a great time on this anti-mage, though. Getting slightly better farm than the Weaver, partially because Loda has spent some time trying to harass the SlayeR. They did get a kill, so it's been well worth it, but FN, he is just in free farm heaven right now. Bulldog's not been able to do anything in lane. Forced to retreat into his neutral camp. It's slow going, but he has picked up the Quelling Blade. Iron Talon on the way, and he is going to start this slow road to recovery. Having a slightly better time than the SlayeR, at least.
Yeah, and he does need to keep his levels up. I mean, Void is very important. Can transition to a carry much easier than a SlayeR can, so.
Oh, again, rolling forward onto Mag. The kinetic field does come out just a little bit late, but still huge damage. They harass him back, and he's chewing through these tangos so fast. He's only got 3 left.
There's actually a TP on Kunkka there, too, which is really detrimental. He didn't need to rotate top, so. TP's top for nothing, and that's going to make his next minute less efficient.
And 50
less
gold
levels for him.
Yeah. And he also doesn't have boots, so even slower. Whoa!
Oh my god. He was just last hitting, he power shot him from the river. That was it. He was just slow.
Oh wow.
He got hit from the front too, so he just took the full damage. S4 did not expect that. That's a kill that just simply shouldn't ever happen. Big mistake from S4.
Huge for Iceberg though. Back-to-back kills, now 25 CS. He's going to start to pull ahead on that front, and if we dare look at the net worth, he's at 2,700 compared to the 1,600 of S4's Mirana. And as we've talked about, Windranger, a scary mid laner with this kind of a start because her transition into carry comes pretty quick. Once she has an Aghanim Scepter and another item after that, her right click is scary. Now up top, Mag, stun, kinetic field, comes out just a little late. Torrent not going to be on the money, and both sides will disengage. Okay.
They're really lacking mana on the Disruptor. He's been casting so many spells that he just has nothing. He doesn't even have Glimpse yet.
Torrent does connect on Loda this time. Follow-up damage. FN charging up the Illuminate. They get the kill on Weaver. EGM might not be able to make it out. A few more right clicks and he's going down. Can they close the gap? He's looking for the deny, but the neutral almost does it, actually. It comes out just half a second too late. A double kill for FNG on the Keeper of the Light. They want Pablo as well. Perhaps X marks the spot. They will not commit to the follow-up. Still another set of kills as Vega take an early lead, already up to 1K net worth in their favor.
Yeah, the Keeper of the Light combo with X is just so good. It's really cool rotation there.
I mean, there's really no way to deal with it. You can't prevent yourself from getting hit by the Illuminate in that kind of scenario.
Yeah, unless you have like a Disruptor or Disruption from Shadow Demon, there's not a lot of good solutions. Or even like a Nightmare from Bane. Something like that could work. They're kind of all in on this X combo, but the fact that they're getting all this value out of their lanes is pretty much changing the whole game here. And Vegas favor.
He's in some trouble. X into Torrent. Iceberg cues up the power shot. EGM does rotate. Arrow connects onto FNG. The Disruptor's also rotated in. Looks like Alliance just want to keep S4 alive, not really look for kills themselves. Power shot does not connect on EGM, but Pablo still taking a lot of damage. Even though Alliance don't concede a death, they did not get the better of that right-click trade with 3 heroes now out of mana and pretty low on HP. Now S4 sips up the bottle, but still.
They're just kind of dying here. He's going to lose the rune too. You could die here. Oh my god.
That Coddle snipes the rune, and they still kill him. And on top of that, it's the Wind Ranger that gets credit for the kill.
Again, 2 kills now.
3 kills.
Yeah, but 2 kills on bottom. But you're more right than I am here. I'm not trying to say that I said that right.
But yeah,
I just have a logical out, that's all.
It's this is scary. I mean, Iceberg is going to go from position 2 to this scary carry. I mean, do you just rush Ags in this scenario? Maybe do you go Blink Dagger first if you're this far ahead?
It's hard to say. I think you get Blink pretty early this game. You can also go Shadow Blade on Wind Ranger just because that gives you really good gank options. But
that's cool.
I don't know if S4 just doesn't feel comfortable on bottom or what, but he's just getting outlaned heavily.
Yeah.
And the supports from Vega have been getting way more done. Disruptor's always been very, very limited by his mana this game, whereas on the other side, you know, Kunkka's been all over the place, consistently having mana for X marks the spot because it's only 50 mana. Like that plus mana leak has actually been enough to save for the laning stage.
Yeah. And Iceberg again getting S4 pretty low. EGM misses the kick forward, and Iceberg will just be able to walk away.
Not good.
That right there was pretty damning, just showing how little they were able to do. I mean, FN wasn't even close to dying.
Did they have an arrow fall off, at least?
Yeah, they hit him with the arrow, too.
Yeah, that's not a good sign, then. All the heroes are just under level 2.
Berg mid. Oh, he gets off the Wind Run! He makes it out of the Kinetic Storm, or Kinetic Field Static Storm combo. He will get caught by the Earth Spirit. That TP gets interrupted, and they do get the kill. So it works out okay for Alliance, but kind of a close call. He almost made it out.
No kidding. It's really close. They really needed that kill, too. That puts EGM at 5.5 right now. Before this, he was sitting at about 4.5, so a full level given to him from that kill. If they miss that kill, for example, and EGM is still this far from 6, it just changes the whole game.
Iceberg just finishing off this tier 1 tower mid. Easy peasy for the Wind Ranger. Wind Run makes that a pretty safe trade.
Yeah, and he is going for Maelstrom this game, so should give him really good early and mid-game damage output.
Yeah, I like it.
It's a good item choice.
It's great on Wind Ranger because of the synergy with the ult, but one of those items that if you can get this early, I mean, the Chain Lightning does a static amount, or a fixed amount of magical damage. So the earlier you get it, the more relatively strong it is against, like, you know, the supports, for example. 2 Chain Lightnings on that Earth Spirit is like a third of his HP.
Yeah, it's like 2 level 2 nukes or something like that. It's quite good.
I like the choice here from Iceberg. A little bit different. I think he could have gone for the Blink Dagger if he wanted it, but focusing just more on right-click rather than guaranteed shackles. FN maybe in trouble here. Moonlight Shadows, they drop a ward down, but they saw the Moonlight Shadow get used. FNG will get Chrono, but the Blinding Light comes out beforehand. He can't get off the auto attacks. Arrow from downtown will connect, and they ultimately get the kill. But again, we're seeing the power of this Vega draft in terms of dealing with the Chrono. They get the counter kill straight away. Now Pablo stunned up. He's on the run, drops the Static Storm, but it makes no difference. Loda does not get shackled, or at least it doesn't latch, but he does get X, and they've got plenty of crowd control. 1 for 3. Vega take a great fight, losing only their Keeper of the Light.
Their disable is just so good still. The X marks the spot, consistently guaranteeing kills. And really nice plays by Kunkka as well. The fact that he did a torrent and a boat on Faceless Void, all without the X, was pretty incredible.
Yeah. So it looks like we might have a lull in the action here. I do want to queue up this replay and just take a look. I feel like this fight was pretty telling of the state of this game right now. AM sees the gank coming. He blinks back straight away. FNG with a really good reaction time there on the Blinding Light. He died anyway, but it bought them that extra little bit of time for his team to get in position and destroy the Void right away. Again, Kunkka, so amazing in those scenarios. You know the Void wants to stay inside of his Chronosphere when it's up, so it just creates this target on his head for Kunkka to come in and try and save his allies and also turn it the other way. Of course, the X-Torrent coming in handy once more to bring down the Weaver, and the extra attack range does help on Weaver. Lets him sit a little further back.
I kind of like this. It's a little bit stronger for the early game. I thought most... Oh, they're in front of us.
On the Iceberg. They'll probably kill the Wind Ranger here. Static Storm Kinetic Field will lock him in place. Limited options. The boat may fly through in time. They actually can't kill Iceberg. He makes it out. They turn it on to Bulldog as well as the Earth Spirit. It's a 2-0 the other way. Iceberg's still alive after Loda tries to commit for it. Now Pablo locked down by the SlayeR. Kinetic Field not going to save him, nor with the Moonlight Shadow. It's a 4-0. Marana the only one that survives. Somehow, some way, Iceberg survived through all that.
Man, that was just absolutely terrible for Alliance. It looked like such a good initiation, but the Wind Ranger just completely survived through it. Maybe they needed to stack their disable less, like use the Static Storm a little bit later or something, but their damage output was just not there, and they really are lacking damage if you look at their heroes. Like, they can't do damage into a Chronosphere very well. It's basically just Marana and Earth Spirit Ultimate, but we just haven't got good value from Earth Spirit this game.
Yeah, and I mean, Marana's damage into the Chronosphere, I feel like, is very reliant on the Ag. It's just regular Starstorm is pretty underwhelming. So that
yeah, it definitely is, because you can't necessarily guarantee the double stack of damage. And he's got Ags now. He's done a great job considering how his laning stage went, but...
I mean, they're in trouble, though. EGM caught again. Boat will connect. Another easy pick off for Vega. I mean, FN is just farming in enemy territory. He's right outside their Ancients. Smart stuff here. FN on the front lines. Moonlight Shadow. They could look for an opening to try to bring him down, but remember, he has the Aegis, so this is not the target you want to go for. Great sentry ward from FNG. They know what's going on. EGM goes rolling on in as the fight breaks out. Iceberg, the one that gets caught by the Chrono. He does not have the Admiral's Rum. He's taking heavy damage here, and they will actually kill him. It's a 1-for-2. They brought down the Coddle also. Vega might have actually lost this fight. AM now reinitiates. They destroy Loda. EGM with nowhere to go. Can't go blow for blow with FN. But now S4 blinks back into the fray. Buyback from Loda. He does time-lapse. That's how he got back in so quick. But it's now a dieback from Loda. FN able to bring him down. They still have no answer for this anti-mage. A rampage for FN. Still with the Aegis in tow. It's a double rampage. Alliance in big, big trouble here, Purge.
It would look so good for them at the start. They jumped in and they blew up Coddle right away while dodging the starter initiation. That's...
Uh-oh, they pull in FN. He's going to keep split pushing. Just looking at this fight once more, though, great work to put the sentry ward down. That's part of what allowed Vega to take this fight, is they sort of knew that it was coming. It was a good Chronos here. We're going to have to go back in game because FN going in deep. He's silenced here. He goes hard onto S4. Is able to leap back to victory. Remember, FN does have the Aegis, so he can stay pretty aggressive. EGM on the back line, hit by the boat. He'll be brought down. Disruptor killed by FN. He's literally just soloing the team. He brings down the Faceless Void. It will cost him the Aegis. If Loda dies here, remember, he does not have a buyback. Now he gets X'd, stunned. He's down. 3 heroes in the grave with no buyback. Void, the only one dead that can get back in this game. They still have a tier 2 tower in the bottom lane, so it probably won't be Megas off this push, but this is crippling damage. They have no answer for this 12-0-6 anti-mage. Now the tier 3 tower falling rapidly. Alliance with no option but to let their tier 3 tower and barracks fall here in the mid lane.
Vega just owned the early game so hard. S4 does get 1 kill, but that's not going to stop everything.
Yeah, I mean, that's cute. That helps, but it's still just the Coddle. FN still feeling very strong against the towers up top, doing a little more split push action. They actually did not get the barracks mid. Alliance were able to hold this off, at least for now, but FN goes back in and will finish off the melee, the high-prize target. Rolling Polder forward, FN throws out some right clicks, and EGM gets destroyed once more. Glimpse back into a Chrono. FN gets hit by an arrow, but there's a Torrent. Boat flying through. He needs the Rum. He's got it, and he will live. Manta style right onto Bulldog. He's out of mana, and he dies. AM still able to live through all of this. Loda dies again, and there's the GG called. Impressive stuff from Vega. Game 2, only 26 minutes, 30-10. Anti-Mage with a flawless match.
No kidding. He just got so far ahead, and then the Solar Crest follow-up was so interesting as well to stack more evasion on top of the 35% that AM already had. He was just impossible to kill when they were that far behind. So really nice way to just end the game. The Butterfly plus the Rum and the Solar Crest just changes everything. I mean, not that they weren't already winning, but what a flawless game from Vega. Like, they just stomped every lane. They won every mid-game team fight, and they deserve that big time.
Yeah. Game 1 maybe a little bit less convincing, but great. Seeing Anti-Mage get that kind of space is really scary. I mean, both games had a very similar feel where Alliance really ignored the safe lane farmer. Morphling and Anti-Mage had a pretty easy time in both games, and at the end, they just didn't have the resources to shut him down. But For sure, a brutal game for Alliance fans around the world. This will knock Alliance down to the lower bracket, not eliminated quite yet. Of course, we are still upper bracket opening rounds, but a tough start for them. That pushes Vega forward. Coming up later today in about 1.5 hours' time, 2:30 p.m. here on the Eastern Coast, we'll have Kaipi versus Elements 1. Elements 1, the replacement for Team Liquid. They didn't have their roster together in time for this tournament to start, so we did have to get a replacement in there. But that's it for this series. I'm Sayori, he's Purge from Moonduck TV. Thank you for joining us here, folks. Enjoy your Pit Lord pubs for the rest of the day, or at least for the next hour and a half till the next game starts, as we will be coming right back. And of course, remember to visit Betway.com, the sponsor that makes this possible. They are a fully licensed, legal, real money betting service. They've got regular sports as well as esports, CSGO, Dota 2.